This episode, the 18-volt Ryobi cordless planer tool review. Well, Johnny and I just bought an 18-volt Ryobi cordless planer, and Johnny and I were talking. We said, we need to do a review on that and talk about planers in general. Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show, home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros. Thanks for listening to another edition of the Handyman Pros Radio Show, where our goal is to help save you time, money, and aggravation on your home maintenance and repair. This edition's entitled the 18-volt Ryobi cordless planer tool review. And to help me explain, I'm here with my ever cheerful co-host and old buddy, Johnny. Johnny, tell me a story about this week. Tell me something good.
I'm going to tell you a boring story that I've been telling you. I'm still, in between... my daughter's going to have a baby here, and I'm just between all that stuff running around and trying to finish up the basement stairs, which I'll be talking about later. But it's been, a lot of things that I've learned about that, so I'll pass that along to everybody in the meantime.
Part of that was a cordless planer, or a planer in general, right?
Yeah, that was a discussion.
Yeah.
So
sure. Well, awesome. All right. Well, folks, before we get started, if you would please like and subscribe to our show. It really helps get the word out there. We're trying to just help some people out here, save time, money, and aggravation. So if you would like and subscribe, we certainly appreciate it. By the way, we are on YouTube also if you'd like to see our faces and maybe occasionally a picture or two. Eventually, we're going to do some more, but video is a different thing. Anyway, take a look at us on YouTube. It's Handyman Pros Radio Show on YouTube. Can't miss it. All right. Johnny, planers. Tell us what a planer actually is and what it does.
Yeah, so a lot of you guys probably know what the, you have the manual planers, and that is just a tool that scrapes down a little bit of wood at a time, with a very sharp edge. And it's an adjustable thing. If you've ever seen them, they come in all kinds of various sizes. They've been around for hundreds of years.
Yep.
But the new thing here, and they've been around a long time. And we're not going to really show you any video on it. There's plenty of videos on these things on YouTube, so you can go out there and see that. But they're made to actually take the wood down and make it smooth.
And
make it and quickly.
Yep.
So if you think about trying to sand down a piece of wood that's accurate, with a belt sander or something like that, there's another tool. It's a planer, and these are electric planers, and they work very well, very accurate. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Yep. We sure are. And so, folks, we just wanted to put this out there. We're going to review the Ryobi one just because that's the one that I bought, but there's plenty of other ones out there. You can get corded versions, you can get non-corded. The brand, most of the major tool brands have a planer. We just wanted to go over some of the uses of the planer, and so you kind of understand where in the handyman business you can use it. And I thought we'd start just there because I think that's probably better. Do you agree with that, John?
Yeah.
So one place that I used it, I was actually building a shed, and I was mating siding, T111 siding, and I had a little bit of an overhang, and it was more than you wanted to take off with a sander, yet it was less than you wanted to take off by putting a Sawzall or a blade on there. Plus, I wanted a pretty nice smooth edge, and so
that's
I took
key.
And John, you just said it, John. That's right. If you want a really smooth, fine edge, a planer is the way to go. And so I just ran that planer up, and what would have taken me, I don't know, maybe an hour with a sander or something like that, even with a heavy grit sander, because it was pretty substantial. This particular planer will take up to a 1/16 of an inch at a pass, which is a pretty good amount. It's a lot more than you think. But it makes it nice and smooth. It's a high-speed rotary blade. Almost all of them are high-speed rotary blades. And so it just takes that fine amount off, and you just do 3-4 passes, and I was done. And it was perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. I was putting trim up over it, and I wanted it nice and smooth, so we had a good tight joint on the trim, and it was a piece of cake. One other place that I know I've used it is I was putting some trim up. I was actually doing a threshold between two floors, and the piece of threshold that I got had it was a little too high on the bottom, and yet it wasn't high enough like you couldn't go buy another piece that was perfect. I took the planer and just ran it down there and took off a small piece of it and laid it down perfectly flush away you go. It'd be tough. Again, and John said, it's tough to do that with sandpaper. It's just, I mean, you can do it. It's just tough to get a really fine edge where it's nice and straight.
Yeah, that's really the key thing here is that, guys, when you're out there and you're, for you DIYers and stuff, you're trying to sand stuff, you sand an edge. And, pretty soon the edge starts to move because you're digging in here. You're not flat. Yep. Okay. With a tool like this, it's perfectly, straight all the way down. And you're done with it. There's a lot of uses that we're going to talk about here. One of the things, if you want to think about it this way, is, you have a door that's stuck, a stuck door. And that's the classic, hey, plane the door. You'll hear that all the time. And if you use you can do it with a hand planer, of course. But once again, my experience is they're not as easy and as accurate as an electric planer now these days. Just because you get stuck here, you get stuck there, and you start to gouge things and with the electric planer, it just goes straight across and you're good to go. So
good,
you don't
bad,
have
and different.
So if you do this all the time and you're a carpenter or a woodworker, I know guys that do that and they're really good with planers, hand planers, not a problem. I'm not that guy because I just don't use a hand planer that much.
So I will say this is a cost factor, right? So I looked at buying a hand planer and I was going to, if you're going to buy a hand planer, folks, buy a good one.
Yep.
You want good steel. It needs to be made out of good steel and this and that. And you need to be able to keep the blade sharp because sharpening the blade is actually the key to a good planer in general. But here's what I found. This Ryobi cordless electric drill, I think, or planer, excuse me, this electric planer for me was $79. I think I was looking at planers of similar size that were going to do a pretty good size. They were more than the electric one.
Absolutely.
They were actually more money. So yeah. I was like, well, that's sort of a no-brainer,
Yeah.
Now that doesn't include batteries, but we're sort of assuming you got some batteries.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, that's a very good point on this topic because you get a really, really nice planer like a Buck Brothers. I mean, they're going to be expensive.
Yeah,
they're going to be
pricey.
Smaller ones. They're going to be approaching $70, and
Easy.
Then the bigger ones are over that. Yeah. This is
and to give some perspective, this planer will cut up to 3.5 inches. So it's 3.5 inches wide, which is pretty wide.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yep. And it has a guide on it, right? It
does have a guide on it.
So, yeah. You can do a lot of things like, you see tongue and groove things and, you can do some creative things with a planer. Now, if any of you guys out there that are doing glue ups and things like that, you're putting two boards together and you're gluing them, those edges need to be, like, folks, if you think about joiners and things like that, that's kind of like a planer and you're running a board through it. And, it's doing is planing down the edges of the board.
Yeah,
basically.
It is a planer. It's just a very small
and it's,
one.
You want to two exact parallels, okay, to glue together. And this planer, you can be very creative with these things and be able to do that without buying an expensive joiner.
Yeah. Yeah. What else can you use one for, John?
Well, if you have some warp wood or you've got a hump in some wood,
yep.
I mean, you can mark it out. You can look at the wood. You can put a level on the wood and see where it's rocking. You can get the humps out of the wood and things like that. All you guys out there, here's a perfect use for something like this is all you guys out there that are building cabinets, like built-in cabinets around the fireplace or something like that. You want that wood dead on so that it looks good,
Right.
This planer is perfect for that and speeds up the job immensely.
Yeah, that was the reason that when I saw it, I was like, oh, do I really need it? No, but I honestly, it paid itself back in this one job. It literally saved me more than an hour's worth of time. I was done, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I would say to the audience too is to go out and investigate what people are doing with these things and some other examples. You'll see we're not going to do a YouTube video on this, but it's You know, there's plenty of them out there, but this thing has a lot of uses. And while we were talking, I'm thinking of another one I've got on my deck that I'd like to, you know, just trying to do some sanding is just, it's taken me forever on a belt sander. And I'm like, forget that. I'm just going to plane the thing down.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So, you know, with the, you know, you guys making cabinets, perfect for things like that. You know, fine woodworking, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
even more than that. I mean, like I said, I was just mating up the corners on a wall, you know, and we were just overhang. We just had a little overhang. It wasn't much, but it was enough that it needed to be taken down. And that's just kind of a general carpentry kind of thing. At least it was for me. And I just was like, you know, well, I need to take it down. You know, zip, away we go.
so Larry, let me ask you this: how, you know, how long would you have to use this to use it accurately?
Um, you.
I mean, you
Probably
get up,
two or
up,
three
up and running
passes.
pretty quick on that thing?
Yeah, I'd say 2 or 3 passes. I mean, you don't have to. I think the biggest thing is to set your depth to where you want it, you know, because it'll
Yeah.
depth out to 1/16, and you can narrow it up. I mean, you can make it super fine if you want to. Just depends on your application. But just go take just a piece of trim wood somewhere, or any kind of piece of wood, and just run it 2 or 3, 4 times, and you'll get the hang of it very, very quickly. It's really quite simple. The plate on it is very, very long, so it makes it nice and flat and smooth very, very rapidly. It's not difficult at all. This particular one has a little kickstand that comes out on it. So when you put it down, you're not laying the blade on the material. I personally found that to be both good and bad. I mean, it's nice because you're not putting a blade down on things, but at the same time, it takes a bit to get it to come down when you start to use it to fold up. Actually, it folds up as you move it forward. And I just found that to be a little annoying, but I understand why they do it, because if you're doing fine woodworking, you don't want that blade laying on top. You'll scar your wood. But I was not doing that. I was doing rough wood. So
Yeah, so so guys, you know, when you think about it, you know, for the true benefit for you handymen and DIYers out there, you know, there's so many more jobs now that you can do and do them quickly and efficiently with a tool like this. So if we're talking about, you know, a $70, $80 tool or whatever,
it's 1 hour,
and
that's
that's
all
what,
you get, an hour or two tops, and you'll save that much.
that's what I'm saying. And it allows you to pick up more jobs. Okay. Because I've been called out to do a lot of planing of doors, and I wound up doing some sanding of doors.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the butt. You know, it's just easier and more accurate. And I think I'd feel a lot, you know, and I used a hand planer to do it too. However, my planer wasn't wide enough for the whole door. So I had to do multiple passes. I had to be real careful, you know, the whole bit. You know, with something like this, I'd have been in and out, and I could charge this. You know, I could charge the same.
Yeah, you can charge the same. The other side is you'll get a better product.
You'll actually
get
that. Absolutely,
you always talk about that. Get
absolutely.
A better product when you do this. And this is something too, just using the door planing thing. If you know, honestly, you go into somebody's house and their door sticks, nobody likes sticking doors. Okay. I hate them. I cannot stand a sticking door. It drives me crazy.
It's one of those on the bug me list.
It's on the bug me list. And you go in and you just fix that for somebody, they're going to be like, "Oh my God," you know, like, you fixed it.
And that's a good point right there. You know, that's a value add that you walk in. Hey, you know, I can take care of that door.
Now, if it's I'm referring to, say, a custom or just a normal closet door. If it's a custom door, I might have a little reservation, but or a custom front door or something like that. But anyway, but if it's just a regular door, it's like, yeah, no, we're going to do this. So
right.
So I was just going to say, so this is the 18-volt version. It goes with any of the Ryobi batteries. This particular one that I use, it does come with 2 blades, which is nice, you know, and a bag, and it does have a dust bag with it as well. And then I said the automatic kickstand. It's pretty nice. It's not, you know, it's not the greatest tool. It's not a ultra fine woodworking planer, but for the money, it's a great value. It's a really great value, and it runs on those 18-volt batteries, which run just about everything. You can get the adapters if you've got Makita batteries or DeWalt batteries or whatever, and so you can run this thing. And I don't know what else to say about it, Johnny. You got anything else on this one?
No, it's got just it has a wide variety of uses. Once again, everything from some making some rabbits to, all kinds of, listen, if you're putting up framing material, if you're doing 2x4s and putting it up and you find a 2x4 that's kind of bowed, as you're putting them up in the wall board, plane it down,
That's not if, that's when.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Plane it down and do it quick. I mean, you're
do
done.
It quick. Yeah, and you're done.
Because if it's 3 1/4 inch, that's almost just the width of a 2x4 on its edge, right? So you're good to go, right? And just boom, and you're done. So there's so many things to do with a tool like this. And I'll tell you what, I've tried to do that. Let me put it this way: I've tried to do that job sanding. And it's one of those things. Once you learn to plane, or once you get a tool like this, you ain't gonna go back to you'll see where this thing fits in your bag. So
yeah, yep, I concur absolutely. Johnny, what do you think when the spaceship lands? What do you think they do with a planer? I shouldn't have asked that question to you. Folks, I'm going to recant that question.
I don't know, Larry. It's well, I guess maybe what they're maybe some new blades. Some new blades, or what? I don't know. What are they doing with the battery? So. So anyways, Larry,
folks, we do have fun making this show. I just got to tell you, we actually enjoy it. So anyway,
well, like I said, doing my stairs project, I wish I had that thing. Now I'm just about done, and I will make some comments as I put my videos together and some pictures on my stair project here of where that planer could fit in. I will tell you that much. So
absolutely. All right, folks, if you would, please like and subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel. We are out there. If you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, whatever, please drop us a line, handymanprosradioshow.com, or questions at handymanprosradioshow.com. We've got a Facebook page. We're out there, and we do have a website as well. So it's all Handyman Pros Radio Show. You can't miss it. All right, with that, Johnny, take us home.
All right, folks, have a great week. We will see you next time on the Handyman Pros Radio Show.